Mega Evolution, one of the most iconic features Pokemon ever gave us. Some Megas turned already powerful Pokemon into unstoppable monsters, and others, well, let's just say they deserve to stay in the Pokeball. Today, we're ranking every single Mega Evolution from worst to best, from the ones that barely got a glow up to the absolute game changers that defined entire generations of battles. Whether you're here for the nostalgia, the power scaling, or just to see where your favourite lands, grab a Mega Stone, hit that like button, and let's jump straight into the ranking, starting with the weakest of the bunch. In my opinion, Mega Pyroar is the worst Mega Evolution. He's just so uninspired, and he just looks goofy with the extra stuff on his mane. I think by far this is the least creative and most underwhelming Mega Evolution, especially since it came from one of the newer games. Next up we got Mega Sharpedo. Now Sharpedo is an awesome Pokemon, and I feel like they could have gone so many more directions with this design, but instead he just looks like a messed up version of Sharpedo. I get that his skin is supposed to be tearing, but the yellow just does not convey that. Mega Manectric looks so goofy, like he does not look intimidating at all, and he has nothing to show for it, like he's not funny or anything else. He looks like he's hunched over. He just does not do it for me. Mega Heracross, I love Heracross, he's a fantastic Pokemon, insane attack stat, but this design just does not do him justice. I don't know why they inflated his arms to look like balloons, and the weird big pincer on his head, his horn, it's so strange. I do not like it. Mega Meganium is, while it is pretty, it just does not look like a Mega. It's cool to see that the mane has been grown out into different colors, but I just think it's, again, underwhelming. That's a running theme with these low tier Pokemon. Next up we got Mega Mewtwo Y, and they took Mewtwo and they tried to make him look like a physical attacker, and I feel like that just messes up Mewtwo's entire vibe, because he's supposed to be this all-knowing sidekick with like otherworldly powers. Next we got Mega Clefable, and this is a strange design for me. I still don't know exactly how I feel about it, but just from like impressions, it's just strange. Like, what I get that they kind of grew out Clefable's wings, but like, what is the hat doing? Like, what is that? And the ears? It's just like, I feel like they could have made it more fairy-like without going for this strange kind of hat wings combo. I don't know. Next we got Mega Dragalge, and they made him longer and they gave him a veil, and I feel like he's still just so skinny. Like, I feel like he should be bigger or like more intimidating. Instead it just looks like he got dressed, you know? I feel like he should be like a more overwhelming presence. Mega Malamar is one of the cooler new Mega Evolutions, but still, like, Malamar never really did it for me anyways, but this just does not improve it. I do like the unique kind of swirling motion he's got going on, and like the big brain, but just, he's just so weird looking. Not a cool weird, just like a weird. I love Delphox, but Mega Delphox just looks very, very uninspired. Like, it's cool that they kind of leaned into her magic witch kind of aspect with the broomstick and the kind of like floating twigs and fire, but she just doesn't look more powerful. It just looks like she's riding on a broom, and I don't really get the impression of a really strong witch from this. I just get the impression that it's on a broom. Mega Electros is kind of weird to me. Like, I don't really know what they were going for with the kind of arms cannon things he has on the side. Like, there's a plus and a minus kind of thing going on, which is cool, but I think Electros is such a cool Pokemon to begin with, and this didn't improve it enough. Mega Audino is cool, and it's cool that they kind of lean into the fairy kind of aspect with it, and I get that it's supposed to be a support Pokemon, so it's not supposed to be intimidating, but it's just, I think it's an Audino problem, not really the Mega. Like, the Mega did all it could, but Audino is just kind of an underwhelming Pokemon to begin with. So just a mix of those two things kind of landed in the C tier. Mega Frostlass looks like it should be more of a Gigantamax design than a Mega, and that's what kind of throws me off. I feel like it's just a repurposed Gigantamax, and it doesn't give me Mega vibes. It gives me like Galar vibes, and that throws me off completely. Abomasnow had so much potential. I think Abomasnow is such a cool Pokemon, kind of like a mythical kind of Yeti mixed with a tree. I think it's really cool, but this just looks like when a cat is scared and his hair stands up, and it looks really strange. Like, it's not intimidating or anything. It's just like a big ball. I do like Mega Latios and Latias, but my problem is how similar they look together, and like it's kind of hard to tell them apart. And it's cool that they kind of merge the red and the blue to create purple, but it doesn't stand out enough, I feel, and it just ends up being forgettable the way they just look very similar and they have no big design differences. Mega Camerupt is cool. I like the way they leaned into its design concept with the big volcano on its back, but I don't like the way its like coat kind of shags over its legs. It just hangs and it looks so immobile, and I guess that it's kind of supposed to be an immobile volcano, but it looks less of like a Pokemon and more of a blob with a Camerupt face on it. Mega Mawile did improve on the original Mawile concept, but I feel like it did everything it could for Mawile, but the gimmick just gets kind of tired after a while. Like I get that its real face is behind it, and that's all that it really does. And it's cool that it has kind of the maw with the teeth, and that is cool. But for me, it's just going to be around C tier. This is a controversial pick. I think Mega Feraligatr is really sick when he has the helmet on, but I mean it's been done to death, to be honest. But like he does look like a toilet. He does when he has his thing up, and that's the way he normally has it. Like it's just his helmet is behind him, and like he just looks so goofy. I love it when his helmet is on, but otherwise it's so strange. Mega Mewtwo X more leans into the kind of psychic element of Mewtwo, and I love that. Like he looks so powerful without being bulky like Mega Mewtwo Y, and I do think that it's a cool design, and I like the way he's levitating. Mega Pinsir is cool, but I do not like its wings. I think they could have made, like, he's a very strange design in its own right. Like I do like it, but I feel like this wasn't the way to bring the Mega. Like it's cool that they added kind of spikes to his horns and gave him wings, but he just looks a bit odd to me. Like I feel like he should be more vanilla, and instead they gave him all these kind of bits and bobs that make him look kind of busy, and I wish they kind of took it in a different direction. I do think the gimmick is funny with Slowbro, where his kind of shell on his tail has grown to consume him, and now he's really tanky. I do like that. I think it's a cool design, and he's definitely towards the top of C tier. Mega Victory Bell just kind of hurts my soul. Like Victory Bell is a cool Pokemon, and I get the gimmick here. It's like he's a sack of goo, and he kind of deflates when he spits up the goo, but I think that Mega Victory Bell should be less goofy and more intimidating. I think Mega Raichu X is cool, but it just, like, he literally is an X, and I get that, but it doesn't make up for the design. Like, it's cool that the ears kind of form the top of the X and its two tails form the bottom, but it feels so forced that it stops being a good design and starts being a direct reference, you know? Mega Venusaur was so close to being in the B tier, but something about his design just being too vanilla and close to his original design, it throws me off. Like sometimes I see it and I have to do a double take just to make sure it's Mega. I do like the way it's kind of overgrown, but something about it just kind of puts it in the top of C tier and not the bottom of B tier. Mega Diancie is really cool. Like I like the way it's kind of a veil going on, but it's not just a veil. It kind of has crystals hanging down with kind of a lot of decorations, and it looks like royalty. Mega Floette is really cool. I like the way that the Floette itself doesn't change, but its flower does. I think it's really unique, and it definitely adds to the cool aspect of this Mega design. And it's really cool the contrast between the size of the flower and the size of the Floette, and I just think it's a really cool design. Mega Chandelure takes the great design of Chandelure and just like bumps it up. Like it's cool. I think they could have done a bit more, but what they did is cool, and I like it. Just like taking Chandelure and adding to it. Mega Scolipede is cool. I like the armor that gets added to it along with its super cool horns. I think that does a lot for the design, and just the unique colors really like make this design appealing to me. And I like the way it's very top heavy, and its back has definitely changed, but like you can tell that the emphasis is on the front. I was a bit iffy on Mega Extra Drill at first because I didn't realize that its arms and its kind of head drill become one singular drill when he puts it together. That definitely changed my opinion on this Mega a lot. He's basically Extra Drill with a bigger drill, but I mean that's kind of the whole point of Extra Drill, and I think it works here. Mega Gallade takes the warrior idea of Gallade and kind of makes it more valiant. I like its cape kind of thing going on, along with the spike on its head and its arms acting as blades, similar to the original Gallade. I just think it does succeed in making it look like a cooler and more valiant design. Mega Lopunny really captures the kind of agile look of like Lopunny's design, and I really like the ribbons it has in its hair, and to me it just looks like a very sleek and like dynamic design. Mega Absol takes the yin and yang kind of design and it just improves on it, kind of gives it more ruggedness to make it look more intimidating, but at the same time taking the unique aspect of the original design and incorporating it naturally. Mega Altaria is cool, and I do like Altaria, but not enough for the Mega just adding to it to really impress me. Like, it's cool they added more kind of fluff to its back, and they made its kind of tail a bit longer, but Altaria is just kind of a bland design to begin with, and it's cute, but for me it doesn't really work. I think Mega Aggron really works as this big intimidating defensive wall. Like, you can tell that it can take a million hits and be alright, and I think that's what it's trying to do, and it really succeeds there. Like, for me, I can see this thing like taking down a city. Like, it's really cool. It looks kind of kaiju-esque. Similar to Mega Gallade, Mega Gardevoir takes the idea of Gardevoir and just bumps it up. Like, you can tell it looks royal, it looks powerful, and it adds another kind of chest spike just bumping up the design and making it look even more intimidating. I think Mega Houndoom is the most blatant example of taking the original design and just like making a new evolution. Like, this could be a normal evolution in the game, I think, but I'm really glad it isn't, and it's a Mega evolution, because you can tell like you can feel its presence. Like, it has the big horns, it has the kind of scepter tail. I just think this design really works as an intimidating Mega evolution. Scizor is really cool. Like, it looks agile, offensive, and defensive, because obviously you can tell it's made of metal, and it has the agile wings, but it's also like those big pincer claws are really intimidating, and it just looks like a very strong Pokemon. I think Mega Steelix is very similar to Mega Aggron in the fact that it does look like a very intimidating kind of wall Pokemon. I think it's really unique how it has the floating kind of bits of metal orbiting it, and it definitely bumps it up for me just because of that kind of otherworldly aspect of its design. Mega Aerodactyl is cool. Like, the chin spike kind of throws me off, but it's not enough to ruin the design for me. I just think that it's a really cool evolution of Aerodactyl's design, giving it more ruggedness and more kind of more of a presence. Because looking at Aerodactyl's design, it looks very sleek, but that sleekness kind of trades off the kind of offensive look it has, and this kind of brings it back in full force. Mega Kangaskhan is really cool. I like the way the baby becomes its own fighter, and it's really unique how its ability works, where the baby and the mother attack like simultaneously. Its animations also look really cool, and altogether I just think this is a very unique and deserved Mega for Kangaskhan. It really deserved this opportunity to shine. Mega Staryu, I mean, I know it's goofy, but this is one of those few goofy designs that really work for me. Like, it's hard to tell from that image, but the way it moves and its kind of back kind of spikes acting as a propeller of sorts, and the way it's like stands proudly, it just works for me as kind of a proud and kind of confident design. Mega Raichu Y obviously just tries to capture the Pikachu aspect of Raichu, and I think that's okay. Like, obviously Pikachu is a very overrated Pokemon. Like, he's the poster child of the the entire franchise. But I think this is a cool take on Pikachu's design. Like, the ears are unique with their kind of jaggedness, and its tail is really long, almost bringing that Alolan Raichu-esque kind of design. And overall, I just do like this design. It's pleasing. Mega Pidgeot is a much needed kind of evolution of Pidgeot's design, because Pidgeot is a very bland design. Like, it's a classic, and I love Pidgeot, but I like the color it adds here with the blue wings and like the yellow kind of head head feathers, and just its wingspan really kind of evolves the design to look more intimidating and give more of a presence than Pidgeot did. Mega Blastoise is really cool. Like, I like the way they evolved its cannon design to be kind of a bigger and more threatening aspect of the designs, along with its hand cannons. Just all together, it looks like a very kind of artillery-esque Pokemon, and it works for me, especially as part of Blastoise design. And the way it shoots its attacks out of the cannon really give it like a sense of power. Mega Phalanx is cool. I like the way all the phalanx kind of come together and the core is like struggling to hold up the rest of them, and I just think it's a great unique kind of take on Phalanx design. Phalanx is a cool Pokemon in itself, but just the way they come together to make this kind of Mega Phalanx, I love it. It's really cool. Mega Drampa is a cool evolution of Drampa's design, because Drampa's a really cool Pokemon in my opinion. Like, he has that kind of old wise look to him, and this kind of takes that wise look and bumps it up with like power. Like, it brings in his kind of weather aspects from his lore, and altogether it just comes to form a very threatening and interesting Pokemon. Mega Zygarde is a pretty deep design. Like, you can tell it used its cells to make the cannon, and it's cool how kind of agile the bottom looks, because it's lost its armor and it's become kind of a floating Pokemon now, and the way it wields its cannon is really cool. I like the bulkier design that they gave Mega Hawlucha. Like, if you look at Hawlucha, it's a pretty skinny kind of design for a wrestler, and this kind of makes him wider and gives him more wingspan to make him more intimidating. And I think the mask is really cool, and you can really tell that this is an evolved version of Hawlucha. Mega Barbanacle is a very needed evolution of Barbanacle. Barbanacle is a cool Pokemon, if not a bit underwhelming, especially with its typing. But this is a cool take, like giving him the even more eyes in his hands, kind of a psychic look going on. I just think it really works here, and it gives him kind of a Lovecraftian look that I think really works for him. Mega Greninja, like, we kind of got a Mega Greninja already back in Sun and Moon with Ash Greninja, but this is another cool take. I love the way that he's upside down. Like, it's pretty generic, but it's still cool. You can't really mess with Greninja's design, it's just very like evergreen. He does look very powerful, and he obviously gives off that ninja vibes, and it works here. Mega Chestnut takes the kind of nice aspect of Chestnut and it really bumps it up. Like, he's very Paladin-esque here, and he has the big shoulder blades and the spikes on his forearms, and he's just very intimidating presence. And you can tell he's slow, but he's definitely bulky, and I like the green kind of aspects of his grass design. As long as his red kind of contrasting cloak here, I think it really works. Mega Scrafty is really cool. It kind of gives the Scrafty look, but kind of bumping up the fashion style, and like, you can tell that he's sure of himself. Like, it's really cool. He's got swagger. I think the white is a great color, kind of contrasts with his kind of vibrant design, and his animations kind of emphasize that coolness he has, and yeah, it's fantastic. Mega Garchomp is awesome. I love the way it turned its hands into kind of cleavers of sorts, as long as still incorporating that Garchomp look that makes him so iconic with the kind of hammerhead, and just the way its kind of stomach is yellow along with the tip of its head. I really like that kind of running contrast between the navy blue, red and yellow, and the spikes just kind of emphasize it. He looks like the pinnacle of a Mega Evolved Pokemon. Like, this is what I expect a Mega Evolved Pokemon to look like. Kyogre is a fantastic Pokemon, and I think the highlights here of his primal reversion, I know it's technically not a Mega Evolution, but for the purposes of this video I'm just going to include it. He's very cool. Like, you can tell that he's being reverted just by like the kind of primal energy that you can see on his exterior. And yeah, I don't know, like, I feel like they could have gone a more interesting way with this. It just looks like a skin of Kyogre, like they just painted on him, where I feel like they could have gone more for a new and more interesting design. Still a fantastic design, but yeah, it's definitely an A tier. Mega Metagross is really cool. I like the way he has 4 kind of hands now, while still keeping like the general Metagross kind of body. it's cool that he added a spike. I feel like they just add spikes to megas to make them look mega, but it kind of works here. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. He's just kind of more Metagross, and they did it in a way that kind of works here, and I can appreciate the more hands and arms he has. Mega Salamence is cool. I like the kind of crescent moon aspect he has going on here, and they kind of took that into Roaring Moon. But even here, like he's very, obviously he's a dragon, so he's going to be intimidating, but they added like a very interesting aspect to his design that you couldn't really see coming, and yeah, it definitely improves on the original and makes him look more intimidating. I've always had a soft spot for Glalie. I just think he's a really cool Pokemon. I'm not sure why, like there's not that many cool things about him, but I'm really glad he got a Mega. Like more spikes obviously, but I like the way his unhinged jaw kind of hangs down. It gives him more of a scary kind of look to him, and like you can kind of see the frost coming out of his maw, and I think that maw and angry look he has really ties his design together to make Glalie look kind of more impactful than he usually is. Mega Medicham is another Pokemon that I feel like they just took the evolution, like the normal final evolution, and just gave us more of it, and it really works here. I like the way it's kind of turban and its fabrics that are kind of coming out of its back kind of tied together to give it a really otherworldly, like psychic presence, and along with its kind of its colorful reddish kind of tones with its white, I think it really ties together to give us a very powerful looking psychic type fighting hybrid Pokemon. Mega Banette was a much needed evolution of Banette's design. Banette always had a lot of potential with its kind of zipper mouth and its like kind of ghostly presence, and this kind of just like it unzips the zips and lets out the inside, and I think it's a really interesting concept, and just the way they executed it really works here. Sableye is a Pokemon that desperately needed a Mega Evolution to begin with, and the way they executed it here really works. I like the way the gem acts as like a big shield, but he's also very attached to it because that's what Sableyes do, they collect gems, and yeah, I really like it here. I like the way they brought Sceptile from being a grass Pokemon into like a dragon grass Pokemon, using its tail as kind of a missile launcher, and the way it stands with its back to the camera and you like kind of flaunting its tail as its weapon, it works here. I think it looks really cool, and just the design they gave Sceptile on its back really emphasizes kind of the scariness and intimidation it gives off, and I think this is the perfect direction to go for a Mega Sceptile. Mega Swampert was a really interesting way to go with Swampert. Like he was a four-legged Pokemon, you know, like kind of animal-esque, but they put him on 2 feet and they gave him huge muscles, like a big hulking monster. And I'm not sure why and like how it works, but it kind of works here. I like you can kind of feel his strength just by his kind of posture here, and I love the way they gave his cheek details like extra exaggeration. And yeah, I'm not sure why it works, but it really works for Mega Swampert. I like the way they went from the silver of Skarmory's design to this kind of gold shiny look for the Mega Skarmory. I like the way they gave the kind of dark detailing to its wings and its huge feet. It looks like the Pukeko chick kind of meme. It's really cool, and it kind of gives Skarmory a more offensive look, because his Skarmory original looks kind of defensive with its posture and like the way it flies. It being steel, but this gold kind of gives off a more kind of angry look, and it definitely cements him as more of a offensive looking Pokemon. Mega Ampharos is a weird way to take the designs, giving it like a hair and the gems in its head and its tail. I do like the wool in its tail too. I think it gives it kind of a mystical presence, and overall I think it really works. Like it's Ampharos with extra wool and these bits added, but it really works together to make it look more, giving it more of a presence and kind of making it look bulkier. I think Mega Gyarados really cements itself in looking like a water dark type. Like you can tell it's a dark type by looking at it, and it's not just because it has the black belly, but I feel like the expression and just like the posture it has really makes it look like it's a water dark Pokemon. and just the design itself, like the fins kind of being highlighted in the yellow, and it's kind of top heavy and it gets slender near the end. I think it really works for Gyarados here, making him look more intimidating but also giving him that dark aspect. Mega Gengar gets rid of Gengar's smoothness and adds kind of more spiky details to him, also giving him a third eye, and I think this is a really cool way to take Gengar's design, especially the way he's kind of constantly in the floor, kind of shifting dimensions. I think it's an awesome way to cement Gengar as this kind of otherworldly ghost type, and the way its eyes are red and it's kind of getting red near its bottom is really cool, and I think it works here for Gengar. Mega Alakazam is really interesting. It took the kind of beard and mustache from Alakazam, and instead of making it yellow, makes it white, so it looks a lot wiser and older, like an ancient wizard of sorts. And the way he's kind of brandishing spoons with his psychic powers and levitating at the same time really cements him as this like all-powerful psychic type, and I think it's the perfect direction to bring Alakazam. Mega Beedrill takes all the offensive aspects of Beedrill, like its drill hands and its red eyes, and just cranks it up. Makes it look really sharp, really aerodynamic, and really offensive. Like he looks like a dart, and that kind of dart shape really gives him that offensive look that I think Mega Beedrill needs. And its stats really line up with that. Like it's super fast and it has a huge attack, and overall I think it's a great way to take the Beedrill line. I think Mega Charizard Y really works in a Charizard design, making it more Wyvern-esque and keeping the charm of the original line, but also giving it sharpness and like a big presence, and like the sharp horns it has and the wings really tied together to give it a really dangerous look that I can really appreciate about it. I'll admit, I have a big soft spot for Emboar, and I think the way they kept its bulk and also made it kind of like a Chinese emperor is really cool. Like I like its staff along with its kind of hair tie, and its armor kind of being in flames near the top and keeping its design near the belly is really cool. And just like its eyebrows being super big, giving it this angry look, it really ties together to give it a really intimidating presence that I think Emboar really needs in its design. Mega Lucario is a classic Mega. I love the way they made his feet and hands and his dreads red, just kind of contrasting with his blue and black undertones. And Lucario is already a very quiet, kind of cool looking Pokemon, and they really amplified it here with its kind of shaggy look and its spikes and its feet and hands, and it really kept the personality that the original Lucario design had, and I can really appreciate it about this design. Mega Rayquaza took everything that was correct about the Rayquaza and bumped it up to 11. Like I love the way it's kind of, I don't even know what you call that, but like the highlights that kind of swivel around it are really cool and enticing, along with the sharpness around its chin, and just the serpent kind of look it has is really cool. Like you can tell this guy is one of the most powerful Pokemon ever. I think Primal Groudon is fantastic and really works on the original Groudon design. The highlights of its primal reversion kind of look like magma, and that's why I think I like it a lot more than Primal Kyogre. Mega Blaziken makes Blaziken look way more agile and kind of intimidating with its kind of offensive look, and its stance is really awesome just because it makes it look like it's ready to jump into action at any moment. And just the kind of stagnant action that the flames give just to its pose, this like flying in the wind, really make it look like a super agile and offensive threat. Mega Tyranitar took all the smoothness out of Tyranitar's design, and like these branching spikes, and even like the way it kind of looks like there's a face on its chest, it all comes together to just make a fantastic Mega design, and it really brings out the kind of Mega in Mega Evolution. Now I think this might also be a pretty controversial pick, but I love what they did with Mega Dragonite. They gave the Dragonair kind of pearl and the wings, it comes together to make Dragonite not only kind of an offensive looking Pokemon, but also gives it some grace. And I think that contrast really works here for Dragonite, keeping its original colors, but also kind of giving a nod to its earlier pre-evolutions. Now, call me a sucker or whatever you want, but I think Charizard X is so cool. Like, okay, being black and blue is just like it's too cool. Like, it's just such a perfect color palette, and then being such a classic Pokemon like Charizard, it comes together, and especially the way the flames are coming out of the mouth on the left and right. I don't know, just really works together and gives Charizard kind of a neon look that I can really appreciate. Okay, that's it, guys. Some megas were absolute beasts, others not so much. But I want to hear your thoughts. Which mega do you think deserved a higher spot, or did I completely nail it? Let me know down in the comments. I read every one of them. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more Pokemon rankings and breakdowns, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, even if your favorite mega didn't make it to the top tier, it's still your mega, and that's what makes it awesome. See you in the next video.